Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. It is the 19th of June today, which in the UK is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there or people who play a Father's Day role or whatever you do today. I hope you have a really nice day. I'm not sure what we're going to do. There was talk of going fishing, but I'm not sure. We shall see what happens. So today technically I believe is the first day of autumn. Not meteorologically speaking, but I believe summer was yesterday. That was it. So yeah, it's been really warm up until Friday, and then boom, down came the rain, and it's actually really muggy tonight. I keep looking out the window because I've got the window open because it is actually kind of that muggy. You'll have to excuse the state of me today. There wasn't really much worth saving for this evening, so I've just kind of come au naturel with me hoodie on. I don't need it that close up to my neck. So anyway, I've got lots and lots to share with you again today. I didn't think I'd have any whips to show you because I hoped they'd all be finishes, but I've still got one because I was forced to adult today, and so it didn't get quite finished, but I will show you that in due course. I've also got some notes today because I've got lots of things to tell you about. Lots of specifics to be able to remember. So I'm going to try and do that. I will be looking at my notes frequently today. So I'm going to start off with nearly 10,500 subscribers, which is just incredible to me. So thank you very much to all those people who are subscribers, new subscribers, old subscribers. It's all fantastic. And thank you very much to those people who bought me a coffee this week. It was very much appreciated. I'm going to start off with little Susanna records because I've got lots and lots to tell you about her. So I've got the original. She's still out. Susanna, Payball. She's still out of her frame at the moment. I will put her back into her original rosewood frame very shortly. And then this, I still haven't put a backup board on it. This is the reproduction. Now I wanted to show you the reproduction again just because when I took the photographs for the chart, the linen didn't really show as well as I'd hoped it would. I tried to sort of balance it all out, but if I got the linen colour looking how I imagine it to look, then the floss colours looked funny. So this is Susanna Eccles. She is stitched in this model on 30 count Weeks Dye Works Cocoa. And the chart is now available to purchase in my Etsy shop. So I'm going to show you what you get if you purchase the chart. So as I said, the colour really on the front just didn't show quite as true as I wanted it to. It's one of those colours that's really hard to photograph. And here is the history of Susanna. I managed to find her. I'm pretty confident that I have the right girl, but as I said to you, it really depends on whether she spelt her name right, which I think she has, and whether it's always been recorded correctly in the censuses, which I think it has for the most part. There's a couple where there's an H been added, and I think it's still her still, but it's a little bit unsure. So as I said to you last week, the girl that I think Susanna is came from North Duffield, which is in the Selby district of North Yorkshire. And she was born to William and Susanna Eccles. She was their youngest child. She had siblings, William, Anne, Thomas and Sarah. And her father is down as being a farmer. She then marries a broker who is down in the records variably as being a metal broker or a furniture broker, Joseph Gosney, and they have two children, Maria and William. Now Susanna is then down as a tailoress, and both of her children go on to be tailoress and tailor as recorded in the census. Her grave actually is in the Killingbeck Roman Catholic Cemetery in West Yorkshire. She died in 1913. So you can find all of the information about her there. And the reason that I've included her marriage certificate is because, and I don't know if you can see just there, it's spelt Susanna with an H, and then on the record the little H has been crossed out, which I thought was marvellous. Then you get all the information about the chart, the stitching legend, a little bit more information about the actual original as a piece of stitching, and then some fabric sizes that you might want to be aware of. And then in the PDF that you get from me, you get both the colour chart. Now let me just, it's my chart so I can show it if I want. There we go. You get both the colour chart and you get the black and white. So depending on what you prefer to stitch, you can have both of those charts. Now, some really interesting news that I hinted at last week. Jean from the attic approached me about being able to stock Susanna as a hard copy. So they are going to be stocking Susanna as a hard copy. Now I've sent them both the PDFs. So I've actually split the PDF into either a printed colour copy or a printed black and white chart. So they may ask you to choose, they may do what I've done and do both. So if you're looking for the hard copy in the States, then go and check out the attic. And I know that Jean has already talked about doing a Swarzafine Tudor silk conversion for 56 count. Well, it'd be for any count really, but you know what Jean's like, she really loves her tiny, tiny stitches, doesn't she? So I cannot wait to see that. And then also very good news is that if you would like a paper copy in the UK, then the Patchwork Rabbit will be able to provide you with a paper copy, and no doubt threads and fabric and things like that as well. They will be, she'll be going on their website towards the end of the week. So if you are looking for the paper copy, it probably will be Thursday, Friday next week. And again, it may be the same thing. You may be asked to specify whether you want the colour chart or the black and white chart, or they may just do both. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go back to the list. Oh, how could I possibly forget? Vicky Clayton from Vicky Clayton's Hand Dyed Fibres produced a set of silks for Susanna. I had no idea she was going to do it. I just got a message from Laura, who is the serial starter, and it just showed the picture of these silks and just said, oh my god, OMG. So yeah, Vicky Clayton had produced a set of silks for a silk conversion for Susanna, and she's actually very kindly sending me a set of them as well. So I can't wait to get those. I've always coveted those and really wanted to try some. So the fact that I'm going to be trying them for my own chart is just mind-bending. Another thing that's mind-bending is how many copies of Susanna already have flown out of the of my Etsy store. That's just incredible to me as well. Everybody seems to just love her, and I can really see why. I was just taking a little glance at her then. So yeah, she's on my Etsy site. If you like her, please go and grab yourself a copy. The other thing that's blown me away is when I see the names of the people who've bought them. There have been a few really, really kind of well-respected designers. I won't name any names because that's not fair, but who I'm like, oh my goodness me, really, they've bought a copy of Susanna. So yeah, it's just been a really, really phenomenal week. Pretty fast-paced. I think I only released her on Tuesday night maybe. I think I actually got her onto Etsy either just before or just after midnight on Tuesday, and then I woke up on Wednesday morning to lots and lots of sales. So it's been so exciting and so rewarding as well. So it just makes me think, which one am I going to do next? I've got a couple more ideas. Some of them I've already shown you, but I do have another idea as well. We'll see what happens. Let's not run before we can walk. Right. Next, before I go on to talk about my stitching this week, just had a couple of comments. I just need some sky hooks, just a second. Just had a couple of comments about the video last week, and a couple of things that people loved and that they wanted to see. So the ladder, there was so much love for that little ladder. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Domestic Customs is still totally unaware of said purchase, although I do have an idea of what I might do with it, and you may see it in the very near future. That's all I'm going to say. The other thing that I was asked about, and I'm sorry I didn't write down the lady's name. She'd asked me what this was, because sometimes in the video you can just see the tiny sort of bit of it there. So this is North Wind by Silver Creek Samplers, and it was my very first stitch on, this is on even weave, this is on a 28 count even weave, I think it's called Silver Grey, and I just finished it as a banner with this kind of like small hanger. I say small, it's quite a big hanger, but it's I think I looked for it on Etsy and it was a small quilt hanger. I've looked since then because people have asked me about it, and I can't find this with the seller that I bought it from, so you'd have to just search for something similar, or from another seller it might come up. And it's just finished on the back with a little bit of checked fabric. Now when I started this, I put the date as 2019. Now I know for a fact I started it in 2018, so 2019 was a little bit optimistic. I think I actually finally finished it just before I started my FlossTube, so probably 2020 at the outside, maybe even 2021, I can't remember. So that's what that is. The other thing that I've done relating to last week's programme, last week's episode, is I've done an FFO over. My little chubby bird, which Jeanette Douglas actually shared, again, knocked me down with a feather, I have changed the trim. I liked the other trim in one hand, and on the other hand I thought it was a bit ridiculous. I thought it looked a bit ridiculous. In some lights, like, you know, when you're just totally undecided. So I took it off and I put this trim on. Now, if the truth be told, this was the trim I was actually looking for at the to begin with, and I couldn't find it, so I settled for the other one. And then I found this one again. So I just pulled the old one off and put it back on, and I am happier with it. I am happier with it. So thank you to all those people who commented and said that they thought it looked better, and equally thank you to all those people who didn't comment in the first place and thought it looked ridiculous. So I'm just going to put it over there. Right, what have I been stitching? I have got 2 finishes and one that is so close to being a finish it's ridiculous. So if I show you the one that's so close, it's this one. It's still so close to a finish. I have literally got the last little bit of white to fill in there. I think there may be a couple more of those little cherry blossoms, and I've got a little bit of the border just to do in almost like one colour. So it's so close to a finish. I think if I get a couple of hours tomorrow, it'll be done, and I absolutely love it. And when I say done, it's done to the Teresa Kogut pattern. I may still add just another line of stitching around the whole thing just to make it fit better into the frame, but I want to finish it first and offer it up properly into the frame before I decide whether I'm going to do that and use the frame that I've got or think about another frame. But I've loved stitching this one, and I've actually got in my plans to show you the next Teresa Kogut that I'm going to be stitching from the Patreon. I can't tell you how much I love that Patreon. You could never, I am in tier 4, but I could never keep up with the charts that she puts out. Never in a million years. There's so many beautiful ones. So I shall be stitching Teresa Koguts for years to come. I think I will always have a Teresa Kogut on the go, which is no bad thing. And that's on a piece of 32 count fabric that I hand dyed myself. It's basically a neutral with, it does have some green and almost like a little bit of yellow in it in places. So there's that. My 2 finishes that I got done. The first one is this one. Now this is a bit cheeky to really call it a finish because it had so little to get done that I'm not sure why it was really still a whip, but it is welcome. Let me try and fettle this somewhat, because there is a lot of extra fabric. So this is a kit that I got from the Nimble Thimble, so it can tell you how much extra fabric you get to do it. So there we go, that's a little bit better. So it is Welcome Summer by The Drawn Thread. And as I said, I got the kit from, I can't even see my mouth moving, that's weird, from Chris at the Nimble Thimble. And it's stitched as called for, except I changed the flag, which was of course the American flag, and I changed it for the George Cross, St George's flag. I was going to change it for the Union Jack, but the Union Jack is really hard to chart, especially on a wavy flag like that. So I just did it as the St George Cross, which I am English, so that's fine. And I'm going to get another frame. Let me just grab this one here. I'm going to get another frame like this, and I get these from Skelf Frames, and I'll put the, I think they're actually already in my list of shops, and I'm going to get another one exactly like this. And this is one of the few frames that I have with glass on it, because I like it to sit on the mantelpiece above the fire, and so it does get pretty dusty up there. And so yes, I'll have that. I had planned originally actually on just having one frame and switching them out, but to have the glass and the mount board and everything else in the frame, it means it's quite thick, so I've had to tape that one shut effectively. And my last finish, let me just, there's a bird out there telling somebody off very loudly. There we go. My last finish is this one, which is from the Primitive Hare. Talk about brain fade. From the Primitive Hare, and I bought this, she released the kit at Nashville this year, although I think she may have designed it, yeah, for the 2022 one that didn't go ahead. And it came with everything you needed to stitch it except for the floss. And so it also came with this backboard, which I will mount it to. And there we are. I've changed the colours on mine a little bit, for no real reason. It's just one of those ones that some charts I actually start and look at the colours. Some charts I never look at them. I couldn't tell you one of the flosses that's been used in that model, whereas some of them I study, some of them I just don't look at all. It's bizarre. So there is my finish. I know the black is a cottage garden thread, and I think it's called Ampersand. Other than that, the sort of orangey red is a Silks for You skein that I had. It is a little greeny dress, a little greeny blue dress. Was just a random skein that I had. So I did it as a bit of a stash buster really. And it did come with the 2 buttons that go on the 2 O's. But I don't think I'm going to use the 2 buttons that came with it. I've got some lovely mother of pearl, kind of vintage mother of pearl buttons that I'm going to use instead. So I really enjoyed stitching that. So hopefully that should be an FFO fairly soon. And I think Cross Stitch Collector is probably about the best name for me. Cross stitching and collecting cross stitch are the 2 separate hobbies, and sometimes they meet in the middle. Sometimes I go to my whip pile and take things out, or my stash pile, and sometimes I just look at them and think how lovely it all is. Right, let's do some giveaway winners, shall we? Let's do some giveaway winners. I've got giveaway winners left to do. I've got Freebie, I've got some plans, I have got a little bit of haul and some beautiful stitchy kindness. So let me do the giveaways, and these are from 2 weeks ago. I noticed that I was still getting a lot of entries last week, so I just left it open for another week just to give everybody the chance, because I probably didn't say a date. fan. I'm good at that. So this is the first one. This is by Willow and Brook Needleworks. And this is Margaret Thomas. And the winner of this one, which is a PDF, so if you can just either email me or DM me on Instagram, either way. So this was Thomas, and the winner of this was Mary Brubaker. So I'll put Mary's comment up there. And I also noticed in Mary's comment, she'd asked me how I stretch my finishes. I literally pin them. So I use a piece of acid-free foam core and I will pin them. So start off by sort of putting a pin in the compass points and then basically just stretching, moving pins, stretching, moving pins. There is no quick way of doing it. I use the same method that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch does, and she has a really good tutorial on it. So if you want to see how I do it, then go and have a look at her tutorial. I'll see if I can find it and I'll link it below. And then, oh, before I forget, Willow and Brook gave me a discount code as well to use that is good through to the end of June. Now, I stupidly didn't look at it beforehand, so I'll look back on my emails and I'll put it on the screen below, so that if you do want Margaret Thomas or any of their other charts, I believe, you can go and get, I think it was a 20% discount off the top of my head. And then I had two from CrowsFeet Stitching. So I've got one of By the Pricking of My Thumbs, and that went to the Violet Stitcher. So again, if you can get in touch with me, I will get your chart emailed out to you. So what I'll do is I'll contact the designers of both of these, or all of these charts, and I'll give them your details and they'll send your PDF straight out to you. And then the last one, again, was from CrowsFeet Stitching. I love this one, I love the parrot on it. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And we had the word summer for this one. And the winner of this one was Daniela Dreskan. Daniela, have you won something else this week from somebody else? I'm sure I've seen your name or a very similar name crop up in another giveaway winner. So if you have, congratulations. Definitely get a lottery ticket, you never know. So yeah, all of those winners, if you can contact me, I will get those PDFs out to you, and congratulations. While we're on that, let's do the freebie. Now, I'm going to put a picture up of the freebie stitched because I actually found this one on Instagram. And the, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to make a real mess of this. The designer is Kaiko Komaruka. I'm really sorry if I've made a mess of that. And it's these two really cute rabbits, and she stitched them on circles with red and they just looked fabulous. I sort of was scrolling through my Instagram and I saw them and I was like, oh, what are those? And then when I saw they were a freebie, I knew I had to share them with you. So I'll put the link down below for the freebies, but they're so cute. Again, I'll hold them right back here and you can go and grab them. It's not a link or anything like that, it is just an Instagram post. What else? Now, I missed off a few of the FlossTubers that I'd watched last week, and I've watched a few more, so I'm just going to give you a quick rundown if you're looking for some new people to watch. I missed Handwork Maniac, Brenda, who was the Handwork Maniac last week. If you would like a masterclass about how to deal with really large projects and keeping going and motivation with them, then she is the lady to watch. She does really big projects, quite a lot of really big projects, and she's really good at stitching on them, really good. So I've got big projects. I've got big projects that I haven't seen for 2 years. But she's really good, and she has some good ways of keeping up with them, and she does a really good mania method as well. So I recommend her. I watched Amanda the Alba Stitcher, and I want to send my best wishes to her. She's been having a bit of a troubling time with her leg, and so it's, yeah, just a bit of a troubling time for her. So hopefully she'll be back on an even keel really soon. So sending you some love, Amanda. Watch Mama Bear Stitchery as well. She does a programme every month and does basically an update of all the things that she's stitched. She does a lot of big projects, a lot of full coverage, beautiful full coverage things. and the amount of stitching she gets done in a month is incredible. So go and check her out. I watched Lynn, the Lancashire Stitcher, again, and I'll mention Lynn again in a minute. I watched Made by Michelle McGraw, as always. Again, that's a masterclass in smalls and stitching ahead of time so that you've got stuff for the season that you want stuff for. And I also watched the Museum Stitcher, who has 2 videos out, I think, now. So new FlossTuber to me. She just appeared in my suggestions list, so I thought, yeah, I'll give her a go. Brilliant. Got some lovely projects. She's only been stitching a year, but oh my goodness me, she is well on the way to fantastic project. She's already got so many beautiful things that she stitched, and she's an all-round stitcher, sewer, quilter, knitter, crocheter, you know, one of those really annoying people that's really good at everything. So, but she's so lovely. Go and watch her. Go and watch her. Now, the reason that I wanted to mention Lynn again is to do with retreats. Now, last week, I don't think I knew of any retreats going. This week I know of 3, and I've actually signed up to one of them myself. So let me tell you about the retreats and where you can find out some more information. So the first one that I found out about is run by Sammy Sharp. Now, she does have a FlossTube, and I meant to look up her name. I'll put it along the bottom. Really sorry, Sammy. And the Facebook group is called Floss Friends UK. I'll put all this information down below. And they have a retreat going on this year in the autumn up. It's just south of Doncaster. I can't quite remember the address. It's Nottinghamshire, just south of Doncaster. So it's a 2-day retreat. You can get just day tickets, or you can get a weekend ticket, and then accommodation is on top of that as well. And then Lynn, I was watching Lynn, and she was saying about another retreat that her and I think it's Gina are organising. And I've literally scrawled the name of this Facebook group down, so do check below if you can't find it. It's called, now I'm not sure if it's Mad UK Stitchers or Mad Stitchers UK, because I've put the UK in a, it could be either or place. I think it's Mad UK Stitchers Retreats and Supply. They are organising a retreat in Wrexham in June 2023, and all the information is in there for that weekend. I'm not quite sure if they've reached their numbers yet or not, but definitely get into that Facebook group and have a look if that would interest you. And the one that I've actually signed up for is Nicola Parkman's The Great British Sampler Retreat, which is happening at the end of September 2023, and it's happening in Swindon. It looks fantastic. Again, you need to go onto the Facebook group and you can find out all the information there. The reason that I picked that one and not the other 2 is because of proximity. Swindon is about half an hour away from Mum's. So it means I can stay at Mum's and drive in to the retreat each day, which saves a little bit on the hotel. So with that one, the actual accommodation's not included, but the food whilst you're there is included. So that's great, and all sorts of other things as well. I'm sure you've got some kind of idea about this, the type of retreat that Nicola would be involved in. So yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. So if you're interested in those, then do go onto those Facebook groups. And if you know of any others, maybe just write it in the comments, because I'm sure other people will be interested. And most of the time, what happens with retreats is that it comes down to distance a lot of the time. I would have really liked to have gone to that one, the Floss Friends UK one, but it's on a Saturday and Sunday just south of Doncaster, so it would be really difficult for me to get there. I couldn't get there for the Saturday morning. I'd have to try and get there Friday night, which would be pushing it from West Wales, and then I'd probably have to leave early on the Sunday to get back. So as much as I really wanted to, that was a distance thing for me. So yeah, if you know of any others that are going on later this year or early next year, or any time next year, just pop it down in the comments below, and then people from all over the country will be interested to find out. Right, plans. I said that once I'd finished Teresa Kogut's Cherry Jubilee, I was going to start another Teresa Kogut, and the one I'm going to start via the Patreon is Strawberry Manor. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. Is Strawberry Manor. Now this looks amazing. I've actually ordered the floss for this, and I will probably dye a piece of fabric to go with it. And so we've started off with a red house, and then I'm presuming that these are all strawberries because, given the name, I'm cunning like that. And then we've got, I think that might be a man and a woman, and a big vase there. I can't really tell what the rest is, so I'm really looking forward to this. And we don't know yet how many parts it's going to be in. So the first part is this top corner, and she's also released the whole of the border as well, which is great, because I will probably just whiz round the whole of the border with the vine and then add the strawberries as I go. So I'm definitely going to be starting that. And then the other one that popped up that was just a complete shoom for me that I was definitely going to start was Halloween Crystal Ball by the Tiny Modernist. Now I did a Tiny Modernist Halloween stitch along 2 or 3 years ago, and I loved it. I didn't finish it in the year, but I loved it. It is finished now. But yeah. I was just taking a second there because I realised I was talking really fast, and one of the best comments I've ever had was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Someone said I had to check the speed of my YouTube. Which I was talking really fast. I had to just check the speed of my YouTube, and then I decided no, she was just excited. It's one of the best comments I've ever had. It was fabulous. So, Tiny Modernist, and I've got the threads for that, so I'll show you that in the haul as well. And my other plan, I need to start this. I've had the first instalment of the Northumberland Sample House AI 1812, and I haven't started it yet. So I've got everything. I need to start it. So that is going to be a plan for this week as well. Right, so that takes me on to haul, Stitchy Kindness, and the bullying of other members of the Stitchy community. So let's see what I've got in my haul. So let me start off with the threads that I got. Sorry for the crinkling. These are the threads that I got for the Halloween one, which came from Patchwork Rabbit. So don't forget you can get Susanna Eccles for them. And they told me they were going to do their advent calendars again. So if you're not already on their that didn't come out right, newsletter, make sure you get on it, because then you'll find out straight away when these advent calendars are going to go up for sale. I think they're going up earlier this year. So there's the threads. I need to get a couple more of those, and I'm going to use a black Silks for You and a white Silks for You as well. So there's those. I also had to buy some more of those little cheapy Amazon project bags as well, because I've got far too many things on the go. I also picked up a couple of skeins of the main colour for the letters on the blue flower, which everybody loved. Everybody loved this chart, and I think it's quite widely sold out at the minute, but I'm sure it will be coming back very soon. So I've got the main ones for those, and I have stored them with the other flosses that I've managed to find in this fancy Polly Pocket. Anybody else who's the same age as me, every time we say Polly Pocket at school, there's a little sort of musical reel that plays in my head that goes Polly Pocket, do, do, Polly Pocket. And that's the only thing I know. Never had any Polly Pockets, I only know that annoying tune. But, I do have some Stitchy Kindness from my lovely friend Jenny, and I've been coveting these. So, I will not have to use my Polly Pocket any longer, because I think I may put that in this beautiful project bag. Look at this. Beautifully quilted. looking beautiful. And this is one of those project bags from Ness Craft Room. I've just covered my entire face. Ness Craft Room. And I've seen these, and every time she puts them up, I'm very, very envious of them. And I'm never quick enough to get them. So I will put all the details down below, so you can go and try and snag yourself some. But they are beautifully made. Vinyl front with nice quilted back to them. So yes, I think from now on my animal alphabet is going to live in there because it's got a nice green on it, and that looks nice with the fabric. So yes, my lovely friend Jenny, you are very naughty. In fact, I've already told you that, but I love it. Thank you very much. What else did I buy? I bought this from Mama Witch X Stitch, who you can now find on Gumroad, I think. This is where I bought it, on Gumroad. She's not on Etsy anymore, she's on Gumroad, I think. Just see if it says on the bottom. No. And this is called Chicken Farm, and I just love that Mr. Fox there. And he reminds me very much of Fantastic Mr. Fox, the film, which Ness absolutely loves, and it's one of Chris's favourites as well. So, and my last but one purchase is this chart, and this is by Glendon Place. I'm going to take it out of the bag because it's a very shiny bag. Now this came from Arts and Designs up in Scotland, and I have to say that if I'd have seen this chart, I probably wouldn't have been that worried about it, but I saw somebody's finish of it, and isn't that always the way? When you see somebody's finish of it, you realise just how fabulous it is. And they had used a much darker fabric, and I'm going to put a picture up here of the screenshot of it, and I'm really sorry I didn't screenshot enough to see whose stitch it was. So if it's yours or you know who it is, please let me know so that I can give them their proper enabling credit. Now, I have relentlessly bullied another member of the stitching community into stitching this with me. So Steve from the Crafty Stitchers, I showed it to him and he was like, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe I'll get it, and then I've got it, and if you start it I'll see, because I've got loads of Glendon Places already to go. And then he got it and he was like, yeah, I'm going to start it when you start it. So I am going to dye us both a piece of fabric for this, very similar hopefully to the one that I fell in love with, and then we're going to start it. I don't know quite when, but I might make it my birthday, start at the end of July, in the hope that it might be finished for Halloween 2030, something like that. So loved that. Loved that. And then my very last purchase. Thank you very much to all of those people who gave me the information about the Claire Hunter book that I have been reading, or on audiobook. Embroidering, is it called Embroidering Her Truth? Oh, how silly, I've been listening to it. I think it's called Embroidering Her Truth. And it's all about the story of Mary, Queen of Scots, as told through her embroidery, her life. It was a fabulous book, And I wondered whether I should have bought the paper copy of the book to see the photographs. And somebody recommended another book to me and said, this one's got more pictures in it, but it's got quite a lot of black and white photos in it. And then I found this book, which is called Emblems for a Queen, The Needlework of Mary, Queen of Scots by Michael Bath. Now, this book is beautiful. It's got, if I can just show you, it's got loads and loads of really clear colour pictures. It gets into the all the references and stuff. Really, really clear colour pictures of Mary's work, particularly towards the back. There's these cool birds. There's some really cool stuff in it that she stitched. Now, I think this book, I don't know if it's out of print, but I know it seems to be a bit spendy when it comes up. But I managed to just drop lucky on eBay actually, and someone was selling a copy really reasonably compared to all the others, so I grabbed it. And just some amazing pictures in it, and I can't wait to have a little read through. Now there is one picture in here that I am absolutely in love with, and of course, now that I want to show it to you, there it is. I can't find it now. It's of Elizabeth. It's Nicholas Hilliard picture, painting of Elizabeth, and it's this one. Now if anybody does a chart for this may tempt me into a big full coverage, because on her, I don't know if you can see, on her skirt are monsters, are sea monsters. So all sorts, it's taken from this woodcut, so there's a lot of similarities, and you can't really see properly on her dress, but I would urge you to go and have a look at that picture, because if I could find a skirt like that, I would have a skirt like that. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Right, and now in all the kerfuffle, I have put down my list. And so I don't know if I finished everything. Ah, what a silly person. No, it's totally got buried somewhere. Oh well. I'll see you next week. If there's anything I've forgotten, I will update you. The other thing that I've been doing is I've been filling out my sampler stitcher book. And so I've just got as far as the first page I've done for Susanna Eccles. I've got to print out a picture, and I've put the titles of the other ones that I've stitched, and I've yet to go back through and put more information into them. But I bought this from Amazon a long time ago. It's by Ardeth Designs. It looks like that, and it just basically gives you a page for each sampler that you have stitched. And the last thing at the bottom that I like, it says, when I die, I bequeath this sampler to. So I shall be filling that out, and I believe that the charity shop is not an appropriate response. So yes, I will be filling that up, and I will show it to you when I've done a bit more on it. It's been a fabulous stitchy week. It has been a fabulous stitchy week, and I really hope that you've had a great week too, and I will see you next week. Stay classy, stitchers.